All right, let's dive into one of the most unbelievable financial stories you will probably ever hear. Seriously, it's a true story that just flips everything we think we know about getting rich completely on its head. And it all boils down to this one kind of baffling question. Now, this isn't a riddle, it's not a hypothetical, this actually happened. How in the world does a guy with a pretty humble job, living a super quiet life, somehow end up with a massive fortune?
And when I say massive, I mean massive. We are talking about an $8 million estate. And it wasn't left behind by some Wall Street whiz kid or a tech founder. Nope, it was from a man who spent his life fixing cars and sweeping floors.
The man's name was Ronald Reed, and to his neighbors in Vermont, he was just Ron, a regular, quiet guy. But his story shows that his most important title wasn't janitor or attendant, it was philanthropist, a title he earned completely in secret, over an entire lifetime.
Okay, so to even begin to understand how this was possible, we have to look at the giant gap between the life he appeared to live and the incredible wealth he was quietly building behind the scenes. And this is where it gets really interesting. I mean, look at this contrast. The man everyone saw drove a beat-up old car. He wore a coat that was literally held together with safety pins. But in his private reality, he was a really savvy investor, holding a portfolio with nearly 100 different stocks. He was a secret multimillionaire hiding in plain sight.
So you have to ask, right? What was the secret? Was this guy secretly a genius with a 200 IQ? Did he win the lottery, get some huge inheritance? The real answer is actually way, way simpler, and honestly, a lot more powerful.
You see, the key to Ronald Reed's entire fortune wasn't some hidden formula. It was a single but incredibly profound character trait.
This right here, this is the absolute heart of the story. His financial success had almost nothing to do with fancy financial models or a college degree. It was 100% about his behavior, his discipline, his mindset, and his temperament.
Ronald Reed's life basically redefines what it takes to be financially successful. He's living proof that it's not some game reserved only for the brilliant. It's a game that's won through soft skills that, anyone can actually develop. Patience, living below your means, and just having a really, really long-term perspective.
His greatest weapon was simply time. He wasn't trying to get rich quick. He made these small, steady investments, and then he just waited for decades. And yeah, the initial growth was super slow, but eventually the magic of compounding took over, and that led to this explosive, exponential growth in the last years of his life. Time really did all the heavy lifting for him.
So, can we actually boil this all down into a strategy that someone could repeat? You bet. Let's break down what we can call the Ronald Reed method.
And the method is almost laughably simple. It's just 3 steps. First, he lived a frugal life, which made sure he always had extra money left over. Second, he took that extra cash and consistently invested it, mostly in solid, well-known companies. And then third, and this is the part where most of us stumble, he had the incredible patience to just wait and let it all grow for a very, very long time. That's it. No fancy algorithms, just profound discipline. And that brings us to the biggest lesson from his extraordinary, yet ordinary, life.
Look, if you only take one single thing away from Ronald Reed's story, let it be this. His wealth was proof that in the world of long-term investing, your temperament is way more important than your intelligence. High patience will beat a high IQ almost every single time.
And here's why this story is so important for all of us. It shows, without a doubt, that you do not need a 6-figure salary to build serious wealth. Your savings right, your consistency, your patience, in other words, your habits, they are so much more powerful in predicting your financial success than the size of your paycheck ever will be.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Inspired by a janitor who became a secret millionaire, what is the single most powerful financial behavior, it doesn't matter how small, that you can commit to starting today?